Well, I'll just go fill up my coffee here, by the way, and let you two get reacquainted. But, hey, by the way, I think we have rush tickets, Abu, if you want to go tomorrow night. Think about it.
Yeah, I do want to go. I thought the game was next week.
Nope, it's tomorrow. Aren't you glad you came in here?
I'm so glad I'm here. I'm just always happy to be here. Can't wait to watch the Raptors and McVee play.
You like
as well.
You like that?
Yeah.
For those that missed this earlier, we had a contest. How many Raptors could you name? Well, quasi named enough.
When he said McPhee, I was like, yeah, that's a guy. Yeah.
Van Vliet, he meant, yes.
Yeah.
I get Davis now. Terry Davis. What's the other guy?
Well, you got
Terry Davis is great, eh?
Terry Davis?
The rookie that came off the street.
Yeah, you got me on that one. Terrence Davis. Lynch has given him a nickname. Thank you, Clark.
For gosh sake.
Forgot Terry. Yeah. Hey, look, it is Football Friday, and I got you two here. I can't squander the time. There's been some interesting things go down. I'll start with you, Abu, as a former member of the Canadian Football League Players Association. Have you been following what's going on?
No, what's going on? What's happening?
Well, I want both of your opinion then. Are you being facetious? Or are you being serious?
Well, I always feel like I'm missing some information, so maybe I do know about this.
Well,
but what's going on? Some
of the top topics here in the CFL right now, and the reason I bring this up is I was on TSN 1290 radio in Winnipeg yesterday, and they said, what are the big off-season stories in the CFL? And I said, well, normally player movement. This time of year, remember Mike Riley to Vancouver last year and stuff like that. This year, coaching movement. Paul LaPolice to Ottawa, Rick Campbell to BC, Ryan Didmody to Toronto. That's some pretty big stuff. But right now, there's this Winnipeg kid, TJ Jones. Were you familiar with him growing up when he was in Winnipeg, by the way?
Not at all.
Lynch, where did this guy come from, TJ Jones?
All of a sudden, he's there. I don't know where he was from.
Nobody knew where he came from.
From Richmond University, I believe. But all of a sudden, he came. And I mean, I didn't know anything about him, really, other than what you told me.
Grew up in Winnipeg, played 5 years in the NFL.
Yeah.
His dad played in the CFL for the Bombers, and now he wants to come back to the CFL, and they signed him. The Argos signed him at $200,000. Right. TJ Jones.
Yep.
What's his dad's name?
I can't remember. Can somebody in Winnipeg remind me?
Tyrone Jones? Then we got
No, it wasn't Tyrone Jones. I wanted to say Andrew Jones, but it's not Andrew Jones.
It was Paul Jones, wasn't it?
No, that's the Riders head scout. I was just reading
Jones?
on 3 Down Nation. I
don't think that guy played very much in Winnipeg because I know him.
Well, he wasn't drafted in the CFL either, and I'm like, there's no way the scouts would have missed this guy. There's no way. No. They said that his nationality wasn't known until the last couple of years, because the CFL GMs and scouts aren't going to miss this guy.
Yeah, and they want to sign him up, and they should be able to. But the NFL is playing the big bully here, eh? For some reason.
Look at Darius
the NFL.
Blatter. Yeah.
I don't think the NFL has anything to do with it. By the way, Janelle Barkman's watching from Saskatoon, and she says Andre is his dad's name.
Andre the Giant?
Tiffany Love writes in, and she says, are you being facetious or serious? LOL. Typical Abu. I know, right? The guy speaks in hieroglyphics.
If you can't understand my silence, how will you understand my words?
I guess Andre Jones, don't remember. What did he play?
I don't remember him either.
What did he play?
Doesn't matter, because
survey says.
My God. Can we bring it? This is like Romper Room has just happened
this is why
here.
we have this. We don't have to know anything. Everyone else knows
TJ, it's not TJ Jones.
The viewers are.
Oh, his name's Andre Jones? Yeah, I still don't know him.
Thank God the viewers are bringing some order to this.
No, but this happens a lot. It happened to Wayne. It happened to Darius Blazik. I'm not sure if it had happened to Jeremy O'Day. But
their Canadian status isn't known until later in life.
You guys don't. You don't find out. Ben Cahoon may not even known he was Canadian until after his 3rd or 4th year up in here in the league. So
it's not checked out thoroughly enough. That's just what I'm saying.
But that's fine. But the point is, the players voted against allowing him to sign more than the Canadian rookie minimum, which is $80,000, because the Argos signed him to $200,000. CBA prevents that.
Then he has to go through the draft, though. He should go through that supplement, the draft, like every other Canadian.
And that's why we bring you in.
Yeah,
that is a great way to look. Hey, Lynch, don't you think? All of a sudden, he's the number 1 overall draft choice then.
Yeah.
Then you're hiding people forever, saying, oh, he's not Canadian, knowing that... I don't know, what are the rules? Like, if your dad played up here or if you were born in Canada, then... There's lots of players.
He went to Notre Dame as well. A good buddy, Craig Smith, says he went to Notre Dame as well collegiately. So the guy's got a basic American background.
Yeah, so
but his mother was a Canadian or something. So therefore, he's a Canadian now. They find out.
It doesn't matter how or why, what his status is. What matters is it is. How are we going to get him in the CFL?
And he should be able to play in the CFL. Okay, he can. And we can pay him whatever we want. They can't say they can't pay him more than 65. That's ridiculous.
Oh, that's...
I think 80 is the number.
Well, your mouth is open.
Let's wrap ourselves in a red flag with a hammer and sickle, and let's tell everyone how much money they can't make.
Yeah, I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I can never figure out if you're playing on the left wing or if you're playing on the right wing. I think you're on the right wing.
Thing from a communist, or you'll see.
You're a capitalist.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, Wayne Grollo, our good buddy Wayne Grollo out there, says simple as this, Lynch. A 5-year NFL player is not a rookie. I guess that's true. Huh?
Yeah, no, I don't see that. Pay him what he needs to. Yeah, pay him. Man, you got to pay guys. If guys are worth whatever, if you have a rookie coming in, that's just stupid. I don't even want to talk about it. If a guy is so good and he chooses the CFL over the NFL for his rookie year, and you're going to pay him 65,
he's born in Winnipeg.
Come on.
Andre Jones, member of the starting defensive end of the Winnipeg Bombers. Andre was best known. We're going to find out what he's best known for pretty soon. Jason Bishop's going to tell us.
Hopefully he puts... everything is going crazy here. The agent for TJ Jones is watching, by the way, Rob Fry. And he says, preach. You're nailing it, fellas. Oh. Did you and Frizy get together before the show?
I ate some fries before. What? Yeah.
Well, I'm with you in that he should be paid. But why would the players vote it down? Why do you think they voted it?
I think it should have been... I'm all for vetting. I'm not stopping from preventing anyone from doing anything, but if you're going to have rules, they have to apply to everybody. And I think that all Canadians should go through the draft. As soon as you're recognized as Canadian, you're put on the draft board. Some guys, it happens later than others. They used to have a special draft for guys that they didn't know was Canadian. And
supplemental draft?
Is that what they call it different things. But like Wayne Smith, I know, went in it. He didn't know he was
And
Canadian.
Jeremy.
And Jeremy and a whole bunch of guys. There's probably tens of thousands, maybe tens of thousands of collegiate athletes that are Canadian that they don't even know it because, their mother... Well, think about my kids. My kid plays soccer. He could play nationally for Canada, Lebanon, Wales, England, Poland. How many other Heinz 57s do we have in our family?
Months.
They don't know. The Polish national team doesn't know that there's a kid in Calgary playing goalie for them.
Okay, the guy graduates from American college, gets drafted by the NFL, drafted or gets to an NFL team, lasts for 3 or 4 years in the NFL, then finds out he's a Canadian, wants to come to CFL, and has to go through this crazy thing, eh?
I think you should go through the draft. The draft isn't a crazy thing. Every league has it.
Well, hang on. Couple things. One, the agent, Rob Fry, not only represents TJ Jones, he also represents Nick Arbuckle because he's just written in and says, I'm tuned in for Arbuckle. Glad I turned it on early. Great show. Norm Fong, the illustrious Hall of Fame equipment manager of the Rough Riders, has written in and says Andre Jones played for the Riders from 1981 to 1983 as a DB. So let's not just say he was a bomber, okay? But the point, I don't think you should put him through the draft because if you put him through the draft, he's still subject to the $80,000 rookie Canadian cap. Guys being drafted
that's stupid, man. Anyways,
what's stupid?
Telling people how much money they can make. You want to spend?
Why have a salary cap at all then?
Because you want to spend $750,000 on one player. Go ahead and do it. You're an idiot. Sorry, I'm not supposed to say that. You're supposed to say that.
I know I am. Well, it's rather unique. What bothers me, it hasn't been. There isn't a policy for it. There should have been. How can they go this long without a policy? They have been able. You would know. Austin Collie is my best example of a Canadian coming back from the NFL. But the Dan Fetter, Kyle, there are many others. Yeah. They were never subject to this. Why not? This is new. Sam Jaguar, that's right. Clark had just pointed out from the Colts. He's probably a far better example than Austin Collie.
But Jaguar, those guys went through. They were recognized Canadians and just not drafted because teams thought that they were going to spend their whole career in the NFL. That's not the case with this kid, as I understand it. What you're saying with Jones is the NFL didn't realize he could be Canadian. Anybody. Nobody knew he could be a CFL. Well, I'm sure his mom knew. But I mean, this didn't come to the forefront until after he got up here. So when he was in the NFL, it was never thought that an alternative by him would be to come to CFL. Somebody pointed it out to him, probably his mother, eh? He probably knew the whole time that he was. I mean, I know what my kids, 1/8 Polish. I know that. If it ever came to it, that.
What's funny, you say, Lynch, a couple times. You said the NFL are the bullies here. I don't think the NFL cares. whatsoever about his nationality.
No.
My guess is his agent probably determined this non-import status, I would think. I'm not totally sure. But you mentioned the supplemental draft. We could name tons of guys that have gone in it. You said Jeremy O'Day, obviously. Brandon Bartlett is a current Rough Rider that went through it. But those guys had never played in the NFL, though.
But that's what it's for. Guys that didn't know they were Canadian. I don't care if you were a...
But they were rookies.
I don't care if you're...
They weren't pro football vets, those guys in the supplemental draft. This guy is.
Cameron Wake played up here, and he in the CFL, and he was working at a gas station, Now,
what about a guy who's been
What do you have against people that work at gas stations,
Nothing.
by the way?
I love those stories, but just because you aren't good enough to make it in the NFL doesn't mean it's okay that, now you can come play in the CFL. I just think this guy should go through the draft like everyone else.
I'm not saying you're wrong, but as usual, you come at it from a point that nobody else has even thought of, let alone said. So I'm just trying to register that.
Well,
not saying you're wrong.
Where are we at right now?
Where we're at right now is the Players Association voted it down, and the Players Association, as far as they're concerned, I guess you would have to comply with the $80,000 cap. They sent a proposal back to the CFL, and they're waiting to hear from the CFL. I might have that wrong. What I'd like to see, as we brought up earlier in the week, Connor McDavid played as a 15-year-old in the OHL, and I can never remember the name. Special exemption status? What is it, Clark? Exceptional player status. Why can't TJ Jones be granted exceptional player status and not be subject to the rookie cap? That would solve everything.
TJ Jones needs to play for the contract that he signed. The precedent's been set, though.
So don't draft him.
Well, it just sets the precedence for all of those kids out there that are playing Division I ball in the States that know they're Canadian, but are American for every intents and purposes. They're only Canadian for CFL reasons. They know this. Or they need a new agent. They need to know these things.
TJ Jones has the best.
That under. If you keep that under wrap for so long, if you know that you have to go through a draft anymore, you're going to put that up sooner. You're going to be drafted. You're going to choose to be drafted. And probably if you're in the NFL and that good of a player, they're not going to draft you anyways.
Nick Arbuckle is ready after the break, but first, a message from Norway. Trent is watching from Norway this morning. He says, Norway calling. Great interview with Mark Matthews. May the Rush dominate Vancouver. Glad the Raptors clinched a playoff spot. Hope the CFL gets Mr. Jones allowed into the league. Have a good weekend. You too, Trent. Thanks for chiming in from Norway. That's what's going on here in the Great White North. And when we come back, Ottawa quarterback Nick Arbuckle. It's a Football Friday. Rod Pedersen Show on Facebook Live and listen live at rodpedersen.com.
You're watching Rod Pedersen On Demand. For more of The Rod Pedersen Show, visit rodpedersen.com or follow Rod Pedersen on social media.